Hello and welcome to another episode of Allstar Garage. This week we carry on from where we were last week, where we stripped 3 cars. I got a car down from upstairs, stripped it, didn't like it, put it back, got another car down. There was loads going on. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Last week's one was this car before this, if that makes sense. We've got loads to do, so I'm going to roll the titles and then I'll bring you in and we'll have a look round. Okay, right, where we're up to, following on from last week, the engine that we showed you last week, which was still sat here with injection on it and fans and alternators and air conditioning pumps and stuff, we stripped that down on Monday. All the gubbins is gone from being a road car. It's now got a carburettor on it. The inlet manifold has come back from being skimmed because it had a warp on it. That was a lot more expensive than I wanted to pay, but that needed to be done, so that's done. That's on and bolted on. Carburettor is on and bolted on. Still needs a clean. And obviously all the malarkey on the front of the engine is gone, and now this big tombstone looking thing is the engine guard, which we're allowed to use in the rules. It protects the front of the engine, which is aluminium, and just behind that corner there is where the distributor goes. And if you don't have an engine guard, you knock the distributor off as soon as you hit something. I did also, when we moved around with the workshops and we went from over there to over here, I had like loads of prop shafts. I don't really like throwing things away, so I do keep quite a lot of tut, should we call it. Sorted all the prop shafts out, had like 5 Jag props, because normally I use the same prop in every car, so when I strip one and have a standard one, it goes somewhere, and so whatever. I thought I need to throw some away. Threw like 3 Jag props away, threw away the manual gearbox prop that's completely different to all the automatic ones, and I didn't have one, and they're quite hard to get. So we do have a prop shaft. Over there we do have a water tank. The water tank came from a lad called Henry Holding, races Smallfield Way, does a bit of racing. He messaged me, said, Pete, I've got a water tank, come and get it. So I came back with a water tank at the weekend. After losing my prop shaft, I put a thing on Facebook trying to find a prop shaft. He messaged me and went, Pete, I've got a prop shaft. So not only has he given me a water tank, he's now supplied me with a prop shaft, the prop shaft ends, and then he's at work and I'm at work, so then he got his missus to drive all the way over from like Gatwick way to Kent, where we are, to deliver it. So thank you very much to Henry Holding for that. It's really nice, actually. Some of the banger community, the racing community, will do anything to help each other out. So in that aspect, thank you very much. So we now have a front bed in the car, which we didn't have, the front axle. That is now in, and I've just gone the process of bolting in and putting the strips of weld in where we're allowed to hold that in the right place. The cradle for the 2.3 is now dropped in on top as well. I'm just in the process of bolting that in. We've got 3 pedals now as well for a manual with a hydraulic clutch. I did buy a pedal box off of someone, but it's from an earlier XJ40 and it didn't fit very nice. Managed to root around and found one of my X300 ones which had a blanking plate on it, which we took off and adapted the clutch pedal out of the one that didn't fit very nice into that. So I've now got a manual pedal box with a servo, so we've got brakes as well. That's in and done. The electric steering column out of the last X300 is in as well, and that bolted straight in. So that's ready to go. And then it's just a case of welding the doors up, bolting the passenger doors up once the loom's in and stuff like that. It's relatively easy. Biggest job we have at the minute is obviously making that fit into that. I'm going to get on and get that cradle bolted in, and then I can dangle that in the hole. I think I've got to shoot down the road and get some 5mm 50x50 box, because I haven't got any, so that I can make the mounts. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that will fit in there-ish. Let's do it. Let's get on and do it. Okay. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay. No, we're all right. Joey, I'm actually okay. Ow! I'm actually okay. Ow! Joey! We're actually all right, thanks, Joey. Quite in control. Don't need your input, mate. No. Massive thanks to Windmill Farm J, as is commonly known on the channel, for coming up with the goods once again. The pallet of goodies that may or may not have come from a windmill farm somewhere up north are very much appreciated and being used very often. Many underseals. Not working. Burning. Bad. Hot. Loud. Making it worse. Not great. Wasting gas. But that's fine. That's really hot. See ya. Hell, Tunbridge.
As you can see, a monkey driving the forklift.
Just go up, man.
What is wrong with him?
Go on then, Dynamo. Oh my good God.
I'm moving my legs out of the way.
He's driving a forklift in flip-flops. Need to shuffle to the right.
Side shift
Side shift right. We'll go that way. Whoa. Right, now go down. You've got loads of space your side.
Yeah, loads. Right, come in.
Inwards, Gary.
Down.
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 Down. Whoa. Come down.
Downage. Fingers.
Back out a bit. Whoa.
Easy. Right, go down there, Leonard.
Joseph of Nazareth on this port.
Oil.
Down, Joseph.
Hang on, you're on the oil filter, Lenny.
Where?
We got to go left.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Up, 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 up.
Quick as you like.
Up. Your own time. No.
Can you side shift left a bit? What? Left.
Other one. No, that's it.
Is that it?
It's on the jack, I think. Let it down on the jack.
But he should sit on them plates as well. If he just goes down.
Watch that oil filter.
Go down, Lenny. Down. Still down.
No, it's not.
You're not down yet. Right, that's on the engine guard either side now.
Yeah. Right.
But it's still a little bit that way. We can shuffle it about.
Yeah. Come down.
Go backwards. Because it ain't in the middle either. We've got to have a jiggle here.
Yeah.
But the problem is where that cradle's kicking up either side for the 2-3, the engine guard's sitting on it both sides.
We can still come back inch or so.
It also, I think it's also well over here.
Yeah. The gearbox is where... Our gearbox is about right.
Oh, you're far
We
away.
put a ratchet strap under that gearbox, fold that up, and you can jack the front and things where you want it, can't you? Got a ratchet strap? That blue one there.
Got loads. Wait, whoa.
Because it's got them plates, it should slide over and sit on them.
Like that?
Like that. The bottom of the sump's got to sit flush to your cradle.
Yeah.
At the minute, it was still a bit over. It's hard to tell because it's got the engine plates on either side. But it ain't far off. tombstone one.
Should I put it on the right way around or should I do it upside down?
Do it upside down like me. I'm gonna have to do some 45s and some angles and some malarkey to make this engine mount, aren't I? I've pinched the clutch pipe for starters.
Oh. Well done, Sandals. You were driving the forklift. You crashed into it.
The bulkhead is just out off of the back of the head. We could go back now with 10mm. We could get that bit of box straight in there, look, without hitting them 2 bolts there. With one bit of box with an angle on it. That one I'll have to kick out.
Well, that one ain't going like that.
Why?
Why?
Well, we can't go any lower.
It's quite up, isn't it? But she's got a ridge. Yeah, I don't think that's far away, to be honest, Chris. Go on, mud guts.
Oh, fat guts. Watch my toes. Don't stop doing my ribs.
Don't swear, you're being
I
filmed.
know. Oh.
Do it every time, don't you? You're stupid.
Buckled me yesterday, I know.
Leaves himself open to it. Oh, that's, to be fair, that side of that engine thing, well, it can't go back no more. Because the alley sump's nearly touching that.
Yeah. So if we go down,
we need to lift that back out and cut that out so that it almost touches the sun.
Yeah, so you want cut the plates out, so then the plates sit over the top of the cradle. Do you know what I mean? So they key into the cradle as well to stop it moving backwards. What?
Let's mark that with a pendant where it sits. We get the forklift operator to lift that back out.
Where is it?
There.
Asleep.
Asleep in the corner. We'll get him to lift that back out, notch them bits out. I'll shoot down the road, get the 50-50 box, come back and we'll drop it back in again. Because then if it drops in and it's about where we can go with it.
Right, I need to hang it off the forklift.
That gearbox could probably go down a smidge as well.
So you want to go in there. Just give us a little bit of room forwards and backwards, just to slot
Yeah,
it
because
in.
the belly of that alley sump bit's almost touching the crossmember. So I don't want to go back any further than we are already. If anything, probably go forwards a smidge of room. Okay, right, we're starting to devise some sort of engine mounts. Obviously this isn't ideal for this because this is made for the 2.3 and it doesn't quite line up great with bolts and stuff. The Jaguars that other people are making suits this much better. But we're trying to make it work obviously so it's interchangeable. This is the easiest one out of all of them to put in. Well, so that'll go through there, bolt goes down through there, and it has braces and stuff coming off to make it strong. This one I'm going to have to come out and either dogleg it this way or down or something to try and miss these. That's the easy side, because this side is a lot tighter. As you can see down here, it's a little bit more of a squeeze, which is what Squirrel's working on at the minute. We're rule-wise, we're very restricted in this can only be a certain length, it can only be in a certain place. The cradle can't go in front of the engine, which obviously for this engine is not a problem. Technically it can come out to here, I guess. But if I start welding another bracket off of here to come down to pick up in this easy bit, when I go and use this again on a 2.3, that is the front of the engine, so I can't go in front of it, so I'd have to cut it off. Same with down there, I could come off lower down here and put something down there, but then when I put a 2.3 in it, it's going to cause an issue. So we're just struggling a little bit for the sake of still trying to make it interchangeable. Easy one, dogleg one. 2 really hard ones down there. Okay, before we get back in amongst it in the front end of the Jag and doing what we're doing, I'm going to give a special shout out to Mart, because I know I've mentioned it before on the channel. They sent me down some stuff to use and trial and get amongst to help out obviously with the channel. And I've mentioned a certain few bits and bobs and whatever else, but I'm just going to give them a little shout out in the bits they sent us and a little bit of a review, because that helps me, which then helps bring the channel, which then helps you, because then you can watch it and then it helps everyone, I think. So this is a battery for a car, quite self-explanatory. These are the battery clippy, clampy only things, not actually for your nipples, contrary to popular belief. Now this one, particular model, is the Clark Start and Charge BC190. And I went for this particular model because I needed a battery charger, and I looked at the one that had the least amount of stuff on it to confuse me, because it's just got on and off, charge, start, minimum, and boost. So that's trickle charge is minimum, right? So she's on trickle charge, she's on charge. We just put it on and we walk away. They also sent us the transmission jack, because for years I've just been balancing engines and gearboxes and stuff on trolleys or oil drums or chairs or anything that breaks or whatever to get an engine out or a gearbox out, or using my shoulder or whatever. And now I'm at the ripe old age of mid-30s. I've decided that this is much better and easier. You would have also seen us use it already in the channel. The transmission jack, serious bit of kit. Very easy to assemble if you buy one. They're pretty good. My cabin crew tool trolley is also pretty helpful. Comes with some stuff on the top for putting some stuff, and then you go like this and you can put stuff in it. It's also got drawers on the front for stuff, and then if you've got too much stuff, you can go under the big hole for stuff. So you can do stuff, 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 and stuff. Very handy, actually. Now last, and by no means least, is something that we have found super handy in the workshop, and I honestly don't know how I didn't get on so long without one. I've always drilled everything or gassed everything or used like a cordless drill, and you blunt the drill bit so quick. Drilling through a car or whatever, so you chew through them anyway. But then when it comes to doing something like putting new pulling eyes on the banger, and they turn up like this, and you've got to drill through nearly 10 mil of steel, that kills the drill and a Milwaukee battery and your arms, and then it bites and takes your face out, and it's quite bad. So Machine Mart sent me the pillar drill, and it's actually really handy. They sent this clampy thing as well, which is probably supposed to be bolted to that, and this is probably supposed to be bolted to the floor. But for easiness of drilling things, it's a game changer. This particular one is a CDP 452F stand-up pillar drill. Relatively easy to assemble. I mean, me and Wayne did it in about 20 minutes, so it can't be that hard. You know what I mean? Like, didn't even sweat. So there you go. Special thanks to Machine Mart for sending us the bits. I will drop the link to Machine Mart in the description down below the video. They've got stores nationwide. You can just Google one and go to your nearest town. I think there's one about 15 minutes up the road from here, and you can walk in and buy whatever you like. Or you can obviously shop online. They do next day delivery service. They do everything from builder's tools to workshop tools to pumps and compressors and fans and all sorts of bits and bobs. There's absolutely loads to see online. So if you want anything tool-wise, Machine Mart could help you out. Let's get on with some stuff. Right, it's now Friday. I didn't film anything yesterday, although I did crack on and do some bits. So the engine is now in the hull, right? That's where it's gonna be. We've still managed to get away with using the 2-3 cradle, which is obviously this bit here. So this bit I would normally put in an X300. This bit that comes up there, that bit there comes up, bolts through the chassis. That's what you've seen me bolting in the other day. That I would normally use in one of these or an X300 with my 2-3 engine. So what I wanted to try and do was make this fit that cradle so that it's interchangeable. If I race a car and it's got a 2-3 in it, and then I want to do a shell meet and I can take the 2-3 out, put a Jag engine in, vice versa, the cradle can stay in the car and I can flick engines in between. The only problem with that is if I was to make one for a Jag, as I've already previously mentioned, this is a certain measurement. I think it's 250 mil. It can't be any bigger than that. It also can't go in front of the engine, which is fine on this. So that technically, the cradle could come down to the front face of the head, which is there, right? So that could go to there. But then when I put that cradle back in a car for a 2-3, that's where the front of the 2-3 is. So I couldn't extend that and then use it again for a 2.3, if that makes sense. But obviously then where I've used it, where these two bits of box come this way, there's bolts literally right there. So I've had to dogleg that one, put some braces on. The other side was a little bit more tricky because of the way the engine sits over on the slant. This is where the Dizzy mounts in. The engine guard comes up around there and protects the distributor, right? That sits in there. These mounts were a little bit more awkward to do because there's a little bit less space. Again, still trying to go with the whole using this cradle thing, can't come forwards. So we've got one bit that goes straight over to the top of that bit there. It's got a brace down that comes directly down underneath it. This one, again, dog legs, but goes straight down. And then we've got a couple of braces that come off down and towards the front of the plate where the other bolts are. So that should now, oh, and a lifting eye so that we could lift it nice and level as well because she's heavy. But that now is in and done and the mounts are finished. So I did that yesterday. The job now is the water tank, which we do have, the one I mentioned at the start from Henry Holding, nice lads. Sorted us out a water tank, which is quite a good water tank, although it has got about 312 tonne of rust and whatever else in it needs flushing out. Now, if you're not aware, with the water tank, we obviously run that instead of a radiator, right? Because obviously if we had a radiator in front of it, as soon as you nudge something or hit anything, you'd pop it, you'd lose all your water, you'd blow your engine up. So the ruling on a water tank is it can be down the side of the engine or it can be L-shaped. It can go there and go behind the engine. It just can't then come back down the other side of the engine so that it's like a U-shape, if that makes sense. It could be L-shaped. That's as far as you can go. That also has a ruling where that can't go past the front of the head either. When you've got a really big engine in a car, that swallows a lot of the space. Obviously, you've probably seen the ones already with the 2.3 in it. They're quite big. They go down that side. You've got a lot more space around the back. With these, although it looks big, because of the inner wheel arch, it actually swallows quite a bit of the tank. So you don't actually end up with, you've still got a lot of water, don't get me wrong. But if she's screaming, that's going to get hot pretty quick. So I'm going to put that in once I flush the rust out and work out how that sits. But obviously it fits over this, so you're only filling that void there. And then I'm going to try and see if I can extend it back into this bit, because we normally cut this bit out for the 2.3 tank anyway. That's like a triangle shape, but I'm going to try, time permitting, to fill that void in there as well. And then that might hold another 10, 15 litres of water, which is going to make the difference when you're doing 15, 16, 20 laps, whatever it is. Like I said before, I'm away for a week, the week before Mendips, which the car from Jason Barrows has just come back. That's here, that's been done. I've still got to do engine, gearbox, prop shaft, springs, wheels, tyres, harness, loads of bits on that. Although it's bolted up and he's done a very good job of it. Thank you, Jason Barrows. That's obviously saved me a massive job. But I've still got some bits to do on that, which is next week's job. And then hopefully get that done. And then I can crack back on with that, because then I'm away the week before Mendips. And then 2 days after Mendips, that's getting siren. So this car has to be painted by the end of next week, which is Friday by the time you watch this. If you watch it on a Tuesday, it comes out. That's sort of a rundown as to where we are. I know it's been a bit patchy this week with me doing a couple of days, obviously making mounts and stuff, and you haven't seen it. It's hard to try and focus on that whilst doing work bits and the phone's ringing and people are coming in, and then trying to film it all as well. When I'm trying to use my brain and count measurements and use a tape measure and do mathematical stuff, and it's just hard work. But that's where we're up to. I'll have a coffee and then we'll crack on. Right, I'm just going to flush this out with a hose, try and get some of this rusty crap to come out. Joey, don't eat the rust. Now, Joey is a dog of the elements. It's not just fire that he likes to make musical tones to. He's quite good with water too. You want some of this? Want this, yeah? Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, lovely. There you go. Have a drink. Oh, it's just gone in my boot. Don't drink that, that's rank. Joey. Has it gone down your wind hole? Now, I normally use one of those Davis Craig water pumps, big supersonic 80 litres a minute. But they've obviously got little fins and fans and spinny bits and delicate bits and whatever else in them. Banger water tanks aren't really made for that. So I just want to try and get as much of this out as I can, because that will block that water pump up. Because it's an inline water pump, if the fins in it block up, there's no water circulation. That makes an engine go from being really nice and revvy to air conditioned with a rod hanging outside very quick. Joey, get out of it. Right, there's a very happy water dog. Hello, Joey. Yeah, get out of the way then. So that was obviously a lot worse than I thought it was going to be, but that's not good for your water pump. That is going to kill that in about half a second. Still water tank, and water obviously makes rust. So if I'm going to look at trying to make it bigger across the back edge of the engine, I'll cut the back of the tank open anyway to obviously make the tank bigger. So then I might be able to clean it out a bit better, because I think there's still some in there. And every time I shake it, there's still a little bit more coming out. And it's, I don't know. It is what it is. Right, once I put some of these tools away so I don't lose them, I'm pretty sure this has obviously got to come off. That's got to come off. All these little studdy bits have got to come off. I know this has got to come out, which probably means that whole bit there has got to come out. And looking at the water tank, I'm pretty certain that it sits just above this chassis rail here. So these two bits, I think, have got to come out as well. Probably have to knock all this edge down here and there. Those 2 points are normal for a Jag tank because they sit high, so I can beat them down. I'll see how it sits in there originally before I then go mad and cut this out, because if for whatever reason we don't end up doing that, then I don't need to cut it out. I probably still will. I'm probably talking absolute rubbish, but let's do one thing at a time. Da 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 da. Do some gassy, gassy, gas, gas. Oh yeah. Joey, no, you haven't got over the water yet. You still stood in the water barking about the fire, mate. Ooh. Right, the tank's in. I had to cut a couple of bits off because there was a bracket that went through and bolted through the chassis, and one that went that way, which I don't know what it was bolting to, but it didn't sit in there very nice. So I trimmed them off. Like, you're not allowed to bolt down through the chassis with where the bracket was, so that had to go. Like ORCI rules, which you race for. The bit of box up there is probably going to come off, but it's been welded all the way around. I think the idea is that it keeps the carb off the bonnet, but it looks a bit griff, so I'm going to change that at some point, but that's not important right now. What is, I faffed about for a little bit. I didn't actually realise the camera wasn't on. I was talking to thin air for quite a while. Got the tank in sort of where it's meant to be. Discovered also there's no cutout in it for the shock absorber to be able to change the shock if I break a shock, so I've got to drop a bit of tube in there as well so I can get down to the shock absorber bolt. Again, not a problem for right now. I've trimmed this out and beat it about for a little bit. It was like triangle shaped. I've now kind of got it almost square where I've just faffed about with it, undone the steering column bolts and got in there. I've got these bits of plate, which again came from Windmill Farm J. They're just not quite long enough to go all the way, but my theory is if I use them to sit in there, flush-ish, that one will go in there, that one will go up underneath there, sort of ish. Trim that to come down for the bonnet, and then that end is where I've got to blow the hole through for the water to go into it anyway, and then obviously I can trim that in. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but 2.5, 3 inches of deep by 5 inches-ish, by any man's measurement, right? Maybe 6, maybe 9. That's gonna still hold a little bit more water to help keep it cool. Probably make it a little bit stronger as well by the time we can bolt it over here and down there and whatever, and distribute some weight. Can we see it? Ooh. Just got to try and get a tack on this end. Hopefully. Can't really reach it with the steering wheel in there. It's going to land in my eye hole. does come out though. I've just got to try and not delete the carburettor on the way past. Yep. Right, that is it for this week, I'm afraid. Just run out of time. Obviously been busy this week doing bits, and then obviously if I'm stood there for ages cutting with the gas or welding something for ages or making, it's pretty boring to watch. So I've clipped it about, took bits out of it, and we just run out of time. This afternoon I've got to shoot off because my youngest has a graduation thing at the nursery for leaving nursery and starting school this year. So I'm going to go and watch that, and then it's the weekend. So we'll carry on next week. I think the most important thing next week, which will be next week's video, is getting the X300 done for Mendip BWS. Because like I keep saying, I've got the week before I'm away, so I've only got next week to get both done really. But most importantly is the BWS car. I've got the engine and box in it, prop shaft, seat belts, wheels, tyres, springs, shocks, all sorts of bits and bobs I've got to go through with that. So I'm hoping if I can do that Monday, Tuesday, maybe Monday night, I think I'm down here, but I can get that done and out of the way, then I can get back on the XJ40. But I'm definitely going to have to pause the 40 for a minute and just get that done and out of the way, and then we'll crack back on where we've left off. Water tank, and then, I don't know, I've got a list as long as my arm, so see how we get on, I suppose. Anyway, please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. That helps me out massively. It's the most important thing you can do to help me with the channel. We've also got Allstar Garage merch.co.uk where you can get t-shirts, hats, cups, mugs, hoodies, stickers, drawings, bags, anything that's got Allstar Garage written on it. Again, that helps us out with the channel, and we do have channel membership if that's your sort of thing. Once again, massive thanks to Machine Mart with their little segment and the bits they've sent us down to help out over the past few months. That's been really helpful. Also to Jason Barrow, he's helped us out massively, obviously, by building out of a car, and that's given us a kickstart to get the 2 cars done for the 2 weekends. And of course, anyone else that helps. We've got Wayne, Squirrel, Jamie's been down doing a bit as well. All hands on deck, so I really do appreciate it. Catch you in the next one.